Hey guys, welcome to AHAM. So in this video, we are going to start looking at the economic survey. So recently government has released the budget and the economic survey, which is again important from any perspective. Or citizen, just a normal citizen, you have to know what is going to happen in the economy, what is the government's plan, what has happened in the last year's economy. For a civil servant, this becomes very important. The budget is usually budget and economic survey are the guiding documents for what is going to happen in the next financial year. What are the ideas, government or thinking in, where are the problems in our economy and what can be done to rectify it. So all these things in the document and what are the major schemes that are going to be implemented in this year. So that will be there in the budget. The finer points, how they are exactly going to implement these schemes, later on as and when the scheme or guidelines of the scheme come out, we'll know. But the budget will say this is going to happen this year. This scheme with this target is going to be launched, and this is going to happen in the economy. So on those lines, we will be doing a series for economic survey. We'll be covering all the chapters. So here in this video, we are going to start with agriculture and food management. So again, India, almost 50% of the people are engaged in agriculture, which makes agriculture and food the most important sector of the economy, simply not because of its contribution to the GDP, but because the number of people who are dependent on it. So in the economic survey, economic survey, they have given a wonderful summary of what has happened in the last few years, where are the problems and what can be done or what is being done and what is to be done in this sector to revive it and take it forward. So in this video, the primary focus is for people who are already preparing for their prelims, and this year they will be writing their mains. So this survey is both important from the point of view of prelims and also from mains. There is not a lot of focus area for mains. For prelims, they can ask a lot of questions from these areas. So also in the slide, you will find that we have added few points there. Now, these points you can note it down. They can directly form a question from prelims area for prelims, and they can ask. So again, we will not be explaining what is MSP or what is KCC, but we will only see the finer points and purely from an examination point of view. For agriculture sector, growth rate grow 3.6. For a very long time, agriculture growth rate this growth rate includes all the agriculture and allied activities, livestock. So this is somewhere hovering around 3.5, 3.4 or in the range hover right இருக்கு. In the agriculture sector, நம்ம கொஞ்சம் உள்ள subdivision பார்த்தோம் அப்படினா, we'll find that the growth rate of merely crops, it's slowing down, it is less. But on the other hand, livestock and other allied activities, their growth is becoming very magnificent and it is supporting a lot of farmers. அது என்ன எப்படி சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுதுங்கிறது அடுத்த few slides-ல பார்ப்போம். So here we can just have a look at the growth rate and share of agriculture in the total gross value added. So usually for the last decade wise ஒரு ட்ரெண்ட் எடுத்து பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா அக்ரிகல்ச்சரோட ட்ரெண்ட் contribution to the value addition, gross value addition is கம்மியாயிட்டே போகுது அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ட்ரெண்ட் பார்க்கலாம். But recently, again, with a lot of disruption in our economy due to COVID and all, agricultural growth rate has improved in the contribution to GVA, which is something to be noted. So prelims, they can frame a question asking what has been the trend, whether the continuously agriculture sector's contribution to GVA has been declining. So in the question already last few years we are seeing. So on the next GCF, so gross capital formation. Gross capital formation is a very important parameter. See, wherever only you invest, you can increase the productivity. Technology கொண்டு வருவீங்க, manpower கொண்டு வருவீங்க, அது கொண்டு வரும்போது production ஜாஸ்தி ஆகும். Ultimately, when production ஜாஸ்தி ஆகும்போது, you will generate more employment, and ultimately for economy as a whole, it benefits. So this is a basic understanding. So here in the GCF on the agriculture, it is very low. It's at a very low percentage. And government or a percentage stable. Private capital formation in agriculture is very, very less. And again, overall GCF is very low. It is not on the lines of service sector where capital formation is very high. So here, this is one point to be highlighted. The gross capital formation in agriculture has to improve, especially from the private sector point of view. Now, government kit on the resources are limited. This has to increase a lot in the private sector. So recently, in last 2-3 years, there are some odd questions in prelims regarding production. India is the largest producer of rice, the largest exporter of rice. The questions of these lines we have seen that in the prelims. So there are some interesting facts. We will look at those facts. So India is the second largest consumer, number one importer of edible oil. Now, we have a huge population. In the huge population, dietary patterns will change. For example, middle class is growing. When middle class is growing, our paying capacity is slightly increasing. So increase ஆகும்போது we are moving a lot towards fast food, processed food. So அன்னைக்கு அந்த காலத்துல மாதிரி இன்னைக்கு let's say husband and wife both are working. இன்னைக்கு அந்த காலத்துல ஒரு நாள் ஃபுல்லா உட்காந்து ஒரு இன்கிரீடியன்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்றதுக்கு எல்லாம் ஸ்கிராச்ல இருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சு ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்றது இன்னைக்கு it is becoming difficult. So people are also moving towards processed foods. Fast food consumption increase in our society. So generally oil consumption will also increase. So இது இன்னும் increase ஆகிட்டு தான் போகுது. But அப்படி ஒரு ஸ்டேட்ல இருக்கும்போது it is important to note that we are also one of the biggest importer. So we are losing a lot of foreign exchange. And yeah, importer, whether India cannot grow oil palm அப்படின்னா no. India has a huge capacity to grow oil palm. Oil, not only oil palm, other edible oils also, and especially oil palm in the northeast Andaman Nicobar. It has a huge potential. The climate is similar to what we have in Singapore, Malaysia. So Malaysia, we import a lot of oil palm from them. So இதுக்கு impetus கொடுத்தே ஆகணும். கொடுத்தா இந்த அத்தனை பணம் where we are giving it to other countries, நம்ம கிட்ட it will start to circulate. Here farmers income increase பண்றதுக்கு, especially in dryland regions, this will form a very important component. So government already NFSM oil seeds கொஞ்சம் பழைய mission. Recently they have launched national mission on edible oil with focus on oil palm itself. So இதுக்கு some thousands of crores government is investing. So in the scheme it is yet to இப்பதான் progress ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. Progress மெதுவா we can கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமா we are able to see, but we are still a long way to go. Sugar. We are the largest consumer and the second largest producer of sugar. Please note, we are not the largest producer of sugar. Very easy to confuse. It is correct in போடணும் அப்படின்னு தான் தோணும். But please note, we are not the largest producer. We are the second largest producer. So ஏன் sugar அப்படி பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு மெயின் இன்சென்டிவ் it is the FRP, fair and remunerative pricing, which is announced by the central government. MSP எல்லா மற்ற கிராப்ஸுக்கு இருக்கு, 20 plus odd crops இருக்கு. But if for sugarcane, it's a similar concept. Government announces a price called FRP at which the mills are supposed to purchase sugarcane from the farmers. Now, in some politically sensitive areas where there are a lot of sugarcane growers, state government also announced something called state advice prices. The FRP மேல state ₹1, whatever they want, they will put ஒரு கிலோ டன்னுக்கு இவ்வளோ கொடுப்பாங்க. So this is also boosting a lot of farmers to produce or move towards sugarcane. So that is one of the primary reasons why we are the second largest producer of sugar in the world. Next, milk production. We are the number one producer of milk. But again, India has still a long way to increase its productivity. Whether நம்ம New Zealand Mario, Australia Mario, European countries Mario, we are have நம்மளோட milk cows maximum milk producing capacity reach பண்ணிட்டோம் அப்படின்னாலாம் no. We are still a long way to go. Milk is one of the very important income generating activity for a farmer. Now imagine you are having a small farm. Once in 3 months, or let's say if it is a short crop or it's an annual crop, once in a year தான் cash flow இருக்கும். But if you are having a cow, every day you will see selling the milk and you will have some cash flow. So milk production in India is a lifeline for the rural areas அப்படின்னு சொல்லலாம். One very very important activity. And நம்ம மில்க் ப்ரொடக்ஷனை ஜாஸ்தி இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணி அதில் பெட்டர் இன்கம் ரியலைசேஷன் கொடுக்குறதுனால எவ்ரி or almost all the rural houses ரீச் பண்ணுவோம். It has a potential for that. Next, fish production. As we already முன்னாடி ஒரு இதில் சொன்ன மாதிரி crop production growth எல்லாம் இருக்கு, but allied activities, livestock and fisheries, அதோட growth is very high. Its consumption is also very high. Its export is also very high. Now imagine a small farmer again. இதே மில்க்குக்கு சொன்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள் தான். You're rearing goats, you're rearing poultry. இதெல்லாம் continuous income. So government is also trying to promote this allied sector activities, and as income middle class income rises, our dietary patterns are also changing towards non-vegetarian food and high value foods. So here India is the second largest fish producing country in the world, and currently it contributes only 1.4% of the country's GVA. It has a huge potential for growth and also generating employment. Next, MSP. Recently, if you have been following the news, protest Punjab MSP became a very important talking point for all of them. So UPSC can definitely frame a question based on that. So MSP எப்படி frame பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படினா லாஸ்ட் இயர் கேசிசி லாஸ்ட் இயர் ஆர் லாஸ்ட் பிஃபோர் இயர் கேசிசி பத்தி ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்டிருந்தாங்க. என்னென்ன இதுக்கெல்லாம் அப்ளிகபிள் நாட் அப்ளிகபிள். ஸோ ஆன் தோஸ் சிமிலர் லைன்ஸ் தே கேன் ஆஸ்க் வாட் ஆர் எம்எஸ்பி எதை வச்செல்லாம் கால்குலேட் பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னு. ஸோ யூஸ்வலி நியூஸ் பேப்பர்லாம் படிச்சு ஜென்ரலா ஓவரால் படிச்சிருந்தீங்கன்னா few factors you would easily identify like cost of production, demand, supply, etc. But the MSP is also fixed based on the rational utilization of the land, water, and other resources. அதெல்லாம் மோட 50% profit மாதிரி வச்சு கொடுக்குறாங்க. There again there is a debate going on whether it is C1 or C2 that maybe in some other video we will cover. Now government in the last few years has been using this MSP as a form of crop diversification. So MSP நிறைய இருக்கிறதுனால தான் ரைஸ் அண்ட் வீட் இங்கே நிறைய ப்ரொடக்ஷன் நடக்குது. Now rice and wheat has its own problems. It's water depleting. Rice is a water depleting crop. இது வந்து dry lands எல்லாம் போட்டு வளர்க்குறாங்க, which is pushing the water table lot below the ground. Continuousா ரைஸ் வளர்க்கறதுனால it leads to soil depletion. Now இப்படி ஒரு சீரியல் பேஸ்டா போனனால we had a huge pulses shortage. So இதெல்லாம் இருக்கக்கூடாது, and we also have to move towards a balanced diet. It's a win-win situation for everyone. If farmers are growing millets or other crops, their soil depletion will stop, water consumption will stop, which is good for the environment. Now either நம்ம consumptionல நம்ம ஜாஸ்தியா millets and other pulses சாப்பிடும்போது it's good for our health. They have a lot of iron content, protein content, and other vitamins, which is not, or which is less. The content is very less in rice and wheat when we are comparing it with millets. So government இதை வந்து incentivize பண்றாங்க. Recently இந்த MSP every year they announce. அதுல பார்க்கும்போது if you're looking at which crop is getting the highest increase அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா it has not been cereals recently, it has been millets and pulses and other oil seeds of late. So this is how government is using MSP as a tool for crop diversification, and slowly we are seeing the results also. And KCC பத்தி ஒரு small mention. So Kisan credit card was recently expanded to farmers who are doing animal husbandry and fisheries also. So இதனால தான் the last year the prelims question வந்தது, which was based on this. So this KCC is attaining, it's growing, and it is நல்ல implementation ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. So now farmers who are doing livestock fishery, they are also able to avail credit at a cheap rate and at a quick time. Irrigation. So before we look at this, we'll also look at this picture. So in the picture la பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா the dark purple or blue lo போட்டிருக்க areas எல்லாமே over exploited. Over 100% வந்து groundwater is being exploited. Now this is a concern for us, because not only here, in general there is a saying that next world wars will be fought for fresh water அப்படின்னு. So fresh water is a very important commodity for our sustenance and survival. So in this situation, we have been utilizing water unsustainably, especially in the region where green revolution took off first, Punjab, Haryana, and parts of Rajasthan. So this has led to soil salinization, groundwater depletion, etc. So this in the long term is not sustainable. At one point that place might become very difficult to even farm a normal millet crop. நீங்க வந்து 3 rice crop 2 rice crop எல்லாம் போட்டு எடுக்கறாங்க. So this cropping pattern has to be changed. So மறுபடியும் ஜெனரலா ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம் irrigation அப்படின்னா 80% of the entire water use in the country is used for irrigation. Now imagine if this entire 80% of the water irrigation use பண்றோம். If we can tap and make this water efficient, imagine how much water we'll be saving. So in some more facts for prelims and mains, net irrigated area, the total area where agriculture is done, அதுல வந்து approximately only 49% or 50% is irrigation அங்க தான் ரீச் ஆயிருக்கு. Rest of the areas is still based on rain fed agriculture. Now on the irrigation area 49% வந்து what is the split அப்படின்னு பார்த்தோம்னா majority is based on groundwater and 40% is based on canal. So நம்ம irrigation expand பண்றதுக்கு இன்னும் potential இருக்கு. Now river linking இதெல்லாம் பெரிய projects. Now this is coming, this will help in achieving and saturating our irrigation potential. The 49 வந்து ஒரு 60 or 70 ஆக வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. But along with that, as we expand our irrigation, water efficiency is very, very important. The government has also been doing a lot of things for, say, micro irrigation fund with NABARD or Krishi Sinchai Yojana, per drop more crop component, again promoting water use efficiency. So idoda reach vandu it's spreading. It has to again given a very strong trust so that we don't become scarce of water. இவ்வளோ பெரிய பாப்புலேஷனுக்கு it will become a huge crisis. So situation assessment survey, again few facts. So income of farmer, average income per year 6,400 இருந்தது, it has become 10,000. Now let's look at the second one. It's a very important point which shows the crisis that the Indian agriculture sector is undergoing. 0.52 hectare தான் நம்மளோட average land holding that a farmer is having. It is little over 1 acre. Now in 1 acre of land, ஒரு farmerனால எவ்வளோ ரெனுமரேட்டிவா crop போட்டு எடுக்க முடியும்? Will it be sufficient for his family's income? Can he make or can he earn enough to spend for his health, his children's health, children's education, for his savings? This is a question mark. Now if we are to impose this, let's say we increase productivity இதெல்லாம் சொல்றோம் அப்படின்னா, ஒரு சின்ன farm or 1 acre farm வச்சிருக்கிற ஒரு ஆளு, what will be his capacity to invest? Can he invest 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs? Maybe his whole land value is 3 lakhs and he is struggling with existing crop cycles. அதுக்கு loan எடுத்து, சில market, there's a boom and bust in our market. So he'll already be in he might be in a debt trap. So இவர்கிட்ட போய் நீங்க வந்து ஒரு 20 lakhs இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணுங்க, நம்ம வந்து வெர்டிகல் கார்டன் பண்ணலாம், இல்ல ஹைட்ரோபோனிக்ஸ் ஃபார்மிங் பண்ணலாம், இல்ல அட்லீஸ்ட் லெட் அஸ் டூ அ இன்டகிரேட்டட் ஃபார்மிங், யூ கிரியேட் அ ஃபிஷ் ஃபார்மிங் ஒரு பாண்ட் கிரியேட் பண்ணுங்க, இன்டகிரேட்டட் ஃபார்மிங் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, it is the chances that this particular farmer will engage in all these investment is very, very low. Now when you are not investing, your agriculture productivity will not grow, farmers income will not grow. So this is a huge problem with us. Now here one important role animal husbandry is playing, which is a less investment, but it is giving continuous income returns for the farmer. Now if you want to involve in increase their income, particularly marginal and small farmers, animal husbandry a focus will definitely help us in doing that. So expanding KCC to livestock farmers is one very important step. In addition to that, we have to increase the productivity of our breeds, feed availability, very important, veterinary doctors, so all these, the availability, skilling the farmers, increasing the awareness, all these are very important, and they'll play a very important role in increasing the farmers' income. Research and development is important, we know. But here the one very important status is usually government usually tells 1 rupee நம்ம infrastructure invest பண்ணோம்னா அதோட return it is more than 1 rupee. For example, roads as we have mentioned 1.1 rupees for. Now one very astonishing fact is they are telling they have stated that 1 rupee invested in agriculture returns is giving 11 rupees return. Now imagine the return. Now it is even better than infrastructure. So imagine, let's say we are pouring money into our agriculture research sector, what will be the returns? So research and development is going to play or one of the most important roles in combating all our challenges like water depletion, climate change, low productivity, soil depletion, as well as increasing the farmers' resilience and income. We have again in research and development la yaroda contribution majority irukku appdin paatha government oda contribution, private sector oda contribution is very less. So here private sector has to step up, and our agriculture universities has to be new thrust has to be given to them to increase their research focus and come out with new products that can help our farmers. So yes, way forward. So we focus on allied activities because majority of around 85% of our country's farmers are small and marginal. Now the allied activities again, can it be done farm goat mattu valakrara poultry mattu valakrara appdin paatha no. It has to be a diversified integrated farming. So munnadi or video la natural farming பத்தி பேசியிருப்போம். So that is one of the best ways to move forward. So you diversify your farm, you have an animal component, you have a bird component, you have some fisheries component. Ultimately, then your production will increase. Now, IoT, artificial intelligence, drones, it has already started playing a huge role in the West. They are increasing their productivity like anything. When their productivity is increasing, they will be able to produce a large quantity of crops at a cheaper price when we are comparing with Indian market. Now, like India used to struggle when there is a boom and bust in the international market, it affects all our farmers also. So we cannot be left out of that cycle to say that we will adopt it slowly. Now, in a globalized world, that is no longer an option. So we also have to move towards this, adopting IoT, AI, and drones. And already R&D discuss பண்ணிருக்கோம். உடனே வந்து நம்ம immediately we are not, entire country will not be changing to natural farming over day, but slowly நம்ம fertilizer use எல்லாம் change பண்ணலாம், like using urea based, we already using urea based fertilizer, nano fertilizers, or any other latest thing. And ultimately, and one very important last point is promoting startups. So இன்னைக்கு யூஎஸ்ல பெரிய லெவல் கம்பெனிஸ் எல்லாமே it was just some startups, not some traditional companies. Google, Amazon, Facebook, or now called as Meta, இது எல்லாமே ஒரு சின்ன ரூம்ல Apple, like how they say Steve Jobs started in a garage. Now it has become a multinational company which is having its offices in so many countries. So startups, when we are promoting, we don't know how enna nadakunne theriyadhu. There's so much potential. So government has also recently announced a hybrid startup fund with NABARD to promote startups in agriculture sector. So let us, these are the steps that needs to be done in addition to what our government is doing, and they are also doing a lot of things to promote this sector. So the farmers oda awareness, agriculture university oda synergy, general public oda cooperation, all this put together only can lift this sector up. So that's all for this video, guys. You can go around and maybe you read an economic survey once and read some more articles on agriculture also. Thank you.